Hey everybody, Crystal Gamer here, and welcome to my channel and to a new tutorial video. Today we are going to be talking about in-game posing, not to be confused with gallery posing, which allows you to get headshots of your Sims in the gallery, or cast posing, that allows you to make your Sims do interesting poses within CAS. Now we are talking about in-game posing using Andrew's Pose Player by Andrew's Studio, and I will include the link for this down below. So what this does is it allows you to use the options available to pose your Sims in countless different ways, depending on however many pose packs you download. And there are a lot of pose creators out there, so the options are quite extensive. It really opens up a whole new world. And so what you do from here is you go to this link and go down to either one of these downloads. I tend to choose the first one. And if you choose the first one, it'll give a zip folder. And you just take that zip folder and you put it in your Sims folder. And your Sims folder is most likely this path right here. This PC, Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4, Mods. That is most likely where the path is for your mods. And that's where you want to put the zip file and then just right click on it and extract it into your mods folder. And once you download Andrew's Pose Player, scroll down until you see this interesting looking little knight here. And it should say teleport any sim. So this is the next thing that you want to download. And there's a download here and here. I tend to choose this one again just because it has the zip file. I find it easier to work with, but you can use either or. And you just download this, take that zip file again, put it back into your mods folder here and extract it in here. Now, once you have those two things are to make it operate. Now, the next part is actually downloading some poses. Now, there are a ton of people out there that do poses. I have a tendency to use Catverse a lot. I use her stuff, like a ton of it, and I will probably be using it in today's tutorial. So I figured I might as well plug her, and I'll put her site down the bottom as well. She's got a ton of different poses. And one thing that I like that she does, there are several things I like that she does actually, which is why I use her so much. But one of the things that I like is she specifies whether it's in-game or a cast replacement. Now, this particular pose that I chose here, which is the Runway pose pack, this happens to be both. It's got in-game and it has a cast option as well that replaces the neat trait. So the in-game pose right here, you will need Pose Player and Teleport Any Sim. So this is the other nice thing that she does is she includes the links, and these links will go straight to where we were here. So it makes it really easy to download. So if you happen to like Catverse's poses, if you like Cat's poses, you can click on her link below and she's got the links that'll take you direct to Andrew's Pose Player to do those downloads. But you have to have at least one pose pack installed for this to work. So, all right, so once you have everything downloaded and you go back into your game, find a lot, any lot, and a sim or any sim, a couple of sims, and then go into build mode. And once you're in build mode, go down to the search area over here and type in TELEP. And when you type that in, you will see Sim Teleporter Destination right here. Just click on that. And you'll see that funky little knight that you downloaded. So I'm going to click on him and just throw him anywhere. It doesn't matter where. So, all right, so he's there. And now I'm going to go back into live mode and I'm going to teleport my sim here. And it doesn't matter which sim. I'm just going to take Astra, teleport her over. And now I can select her and either pose by name. I never ever use name. If you guys remember names, more power to you. Use the name. You actually have to type it in. That's like, it's never going to happen for me in a million years. So I just go to the pose by pack option. And as you can see, I have a whole bunch of different packs installed here, but you can see the one that I was on, the Runway pose pack. So I'm going to click on that. And you'll notice Kat does another really awesome thing. She doesn't do this with all her poses, but she does it with most of them, where she has these single options and then an all-in-one option. Now, I love the all-in-one option, especially if I'm posing single sims, because what will happen is in the all-in-one option, if I select this, the sim will just go through one after the other, after the other, after the other. So if I just select each one of these, the sim poses and then stops. So I'll show you the difference. So I'll select pose 1 and pose 2, and then I'll select all in one. Now I'll close out of this, and now I've got pose 1. When I click the play button, she will move into pose 1. There she goes. So now she is in pose 1. She will hold that position forever until she is miserable, until she's starving, until she has to go to the bathroom. She will just stay there and hold that pose. So one of the things you may want to make sure is you click the pause button in between if you're taking time, like moving the camera around to set up a shot or whatever you're trying to do. Most of the time it's going to be for photography. So I'm going to assume you might be setting up a shot or something like that. You may want to pause it because they'll stay there forever and their needs will deplete, and the sun will keep moving as well if you're outside. Obviously, if you're inside, not as much of a consideration. But in order to get her to move, we actually have to tell her to stop this pose. Now, if you remember, we selected pose 1 and 2, so she is now going to go into pose 2. So there's pose 2. So she'll hit pose 2 and stop until we tell her to stop posing. Now, the next thing we selected was the all-in-one. So on this one here, she is just going to go from one pose to the next pose to the next pose to the next pose. Now, I really like this all-in-one option because I can see each pose and decide which one is best for what I'm trying to do, and then just pause it where I like at the pose that I like and I want to use, and then I just take the pictures that I want. And if I want to use one of the other poses, I just hit play again and then pause when I'm on the next pose that I want, set it up, and just take the photo. So I love the all-in-one option. I'm a huge fan of that. Not all people that create poses do that, but Kat does that for most of her poses. Totally love it. Now, how about if you want to pose two sims together? All right, I'm going to tell her to stop posing. I'm going to go back into the build mode. And once that comes up, I'm going to go back in and look for my teleporter again, type in TELEP, and that comes up again. Click on that and get my little knight guy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put him down twice. 1, 2, right on top of each other. So there's 2 of him and he's right on top of each other. Now I'm going to go back into live mode. I'm going to click on him, say teleport sim here. I'm going to put Willow over there, and then I'm going to click on it again, teleport sim here. Then I'm going to put Astra on there. Now you can see they're both kind of on top of each other, so it looks kind of funny. But I've got Astra selected, so I'm just going to click on her and I'm going to say pose by pack, and I'm going to go to a couple pack that I have. I'm not sure if this is Catverse or not. I think it might be by someone else. I'll look it up and put it down below so you guys know where it came from. So, all right. So I'm going to click on her and I'm going to say, okay, pose 1 female for her. Then I'm going to close it. Now, this is actually a couple pose, and these 2 are actually best friends, but it doesn't matter for example purposes. So then I'm going to click on Willow, and then I'm going to tell her to pose. Pose by pack. I'm going to go down, scroll down to that same pack that I have here. And now I'm going to tell her pose 1 male. Then I'm going to close out of this. And now once I hit play, these 2 will strike the pose. Boom. There it is. And again, make sure you hit pause because they will just stay there forever. So there's the pose. Now, one thing that you do have to watch is different clothing will not work with every pose. Like this one here, you can see that her hand is inside the dress. So you have to watch the clothing and the different poses. It depends how the person that created the pose set it up. So that's a pretty cool pose though, right? So there we have that. So that's how you pose when you want to do a couples thing. You do it on top of each other. Now, the same goes for if you want to use a chair, for instance. So I'm going to take a chair that I actually have a pose pack for, one of these stools, and I'm going to select that, and I'm going to again look for my teleporter. the TELEP. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the teleporter, put it right on top of the stool. And back into live mode, I'm going to teleport a sim over. I'm going to tell Willow to go here. And now I'm going to click on pose by pack again. And I'm going to look for my bar stool poses that I have here. And I am going to choose this pose here, pose number 5. And there we have it. She is on the bar stool and it looks good. And you can see she's leaning directly on the bar stool exactly the way she's supposed to be. And it looks really great. Now, her fingers are a little bit in her dress here, but you know, different photography angles, like you can still take the picture here. You're never going to see it. So that's how you pose with that. Now, if there's a prop with the pose, some poses come with props. For instance, if I go back into pose by pack and I go to the bar stool poses, you can see these first 2 poses say with champagne glass. If a pose comes with a prop, the person that creates the pose will link to that prop. You'll have to download that, put it in your mods folder. And in order to get the sim to hold it, you have to go into CAS and put it in the sim's hand, usually by replacing a ring. So that's really important. It took me forever to figure that out. And actually, I think it was Mena Buchner that actually helped me figure that out because it took me a while on that. So shout out to her for that. So I have a few different things. Like I have some microphone poses here by Lucky Day, a Lucky Day. And same thing. You have to download the microphone, go into CAS and put it in their hand. So that's how you do anything with a prop. But with chairs, just take that teleporter and put the teleporter guy right in the center of the chair. And that will get your sim there. So I think we covered all of the main points on posing in game, and I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, definitely hit that like button. And if you're new here, I put out at least 2 or more Sims videos a week, all different Sims things between builds and tutorials, challenges, pack reviews, all sorts of stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button below and the little bell for notifications so you don't miss it when I put out new videos. And thank you all so much for spending the time with me today. Hope to see you all back again next time. Bye now.